Okay, so good morning. We are doing the Uddhava Gita, chapter 10, and the verse which we had not completed yesterday, we are doing the verse 16 once again. Like I said, that it is important to understand the verse clearly. So this is Uddhava Gita, chapter 10, verse 16. Fixing the mind on Narayana, the Transcendent One, also called Bhagwan, the yogi, like me, attains to the power of self-control. Now, when we are talking about Narayana, I told you it is the form which is from the unmanifest to the manifest, the in-between form that is there. You can't call it a form also because it's in the preparatory stage. If I have to describe it for understanding purpose, let us say it is a formation when you have the egg, and from the egg now something is going to hatch. Something is going to come out of the body. So what is that state? It's neither the creature, it could be human being also, is not human being nor even an egg. So in between there is a stage. It is only for understanding, so that you get an idea about what we are experiencing. So if I have to concentrate on this, it's a bit tough when man has to concentrate on the unmanifest world. How do you concentrate on the unmanifest world? If I have something manifest, some object which is tangible, if I put it in my hand and I can look at it, I can say, yes, now I can see the object. And if I can see the object, I can actually focus on it and go into that object. But if I have nothing in front of me, and if you are telling me I have to focus on nothing, what do I focus on? So here, fixing the mind on Narayana, the Transcendent One, also called Bhagwan. Now, he is the Parabrahma also. He is the manifest also. Both states are in a fluid state. You know what fluid state is? It's neither gas nor liquid, a fluid state. You know, gas can expand quite a lot. Water is definitely the contracted form of it. But in between, it acts as liquid also and it acts as gas also. So that is called the fluid state. Now imagine this is the Transcendent One which is in the fluid state. When you concentrate on it, that means when you put your mind into that space, what you get is called the power of self-control. You may want to know how this self-control comes into the being. You know what self-control is? You are able to control most of your urges, demands, desires, and put them under. Suppose you are very, very hungry. So hunger is going to cause you a lot of discomfort. So the thought is always on food. So when the thought is on food, you are always going to think of the food. Now imagine you are going inside a temple and you have had a fast. You know, many people in India and abroad also, they have fasting. They will not eat. And when they are entering the temple, on both the right hand side and left hand side, you will find there are shops which are selling sweets and all those hot stuff, the jalebis, the bhajiyas, and all those kind of eatables, and all the smells are wafting in, and then you are climbing up the steps to go to the temple. You know how it is going to be? And imagine you have to take a prasad from the same shop and then go up to that temple and offer it over there. Your mind is going to be constantly thinking, after I come down, I want to eat something. So you think your mind is on God? Not at all. Your mind is now latched onto that food over there. So this is the problem of self-control, where a person is not able to control anything. It's the same as seeing a naked person. You see some fancy car on the road. For all the men in the world, they love fancy cars. And imagine you have a super blonde driving that car. There is a there is a particular channel which does that. And she's driving that fancy car. Your eyes are anyway not going to go anywhere except that place. Why? Because that is where the self-control goes out of the window. You don't have. So how do you bring back the self-control? Self-control is brought by concentrating on Narayana. The formless, formed one, both. When you are doing your meditation, there is a point where you have been told to focus on some object. Like say for example, you are focusing on your nose. You have to look like this at the tip of your nose. That's what they say in most of these books also. A point comes when you defocus. Defocus means suddenly this thing goes out of focus. And when it goes out of focus, those who use cameras will understand what I'm talking about. Some objects which are close, some objects which are far, and some which are in between, you have to keep on changing the focus. Imagine you have focused far and there is an object very close. What happens? You are defocused. On that close object, you can't see that object. So think like that. You are concentrating here and suddenly you are defocusing. Now, when that happens, the mind goes in like a blur. Because if I was focusing and then I am not focusing, that blur is what is happening in between. Do you remember the Kumbhaka? Yes, I'm sure. Last 2-3 episodes I was talking about it. So imagine that is the state. From there to there, in between. And then you have nothing to actually think of. You are suspended. Now when you are suspended in this domain, imagine there is Narayana. Now Narayana is going to be also coming in the next one and the next one also in different formats. So let us think about him. Those who have seen the Padmanabh Swami temples will understand what I am talking about. It's a form. Now imagine this. In most of these Narayana temples, these Padmanabh Swami temples, the form is 26-30 feet long, huge one. Just like you have the sleeping Buddha form. So and there are doors, 1, 2, 3. Now if I go in the middle door, I can only see his stomach and all. If I go to this side door, I can see his head. Now I can see the snake also like this, and I can see the head, I can see a little bit of Lakshmi. and then if I go at the bottom, I will see only his feet. Have you seen that? You have to now piece it together. You know, when you piece 1, 2, 3. Like I said, those who know how to use the camera, if they have to do a panorama like that. Now do one thing. Exactly create the panorama in your mind. When I am standing in the middle, I have to know what is in the top over there. If I am standing in the middle, I have to show what is at the bottom also. So what do? I piece it together in my mind. This is a way, I'm just giving you a technique how you're piecing the picture together, the panorama together. It is getting stitched. 3 pictures getting stitched like that. Imagine that. So do you really think you will be in a position to stitch these pictures to understand the truth? Imagine something like that. Why do I say imagine? It's because most of the people, they have tried doing meditation. They don't do. The reason is meditation is not a state where you can get in and get out. Oh, I am going to meditate, the person says. Please give me about half an hour. I will be back after half an hour. Or there is a music playing tung, 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 tung at the background and the person is meditating. And when the music stops, now you can open your eyes. People say these words. If you know when the eyes have to be opened and when they have to be closed, you are not in meditation. You are just waiting for that eyes to open statement. That is not meditation. Meditation means going into a state and coming out of it without your own knowledge. To understand that you have done this meditation is wrong. You don't have to think about it. It is a state where you get in and get out very unconsciously, not there, not even knowing. And later on, you cannot even say, oh, I think I was in meditation. You are not. But the idea is, if you think you are in meditation, then what meditation are you doing? Spontaneity, without even thinking and without even having a belief that, oh, I was meditating. So this state, I hope you are getting it. I have given you so many pictures of what is it that I am talking about. Imagine that disappearing state where you are concentrating on this Narayana form. Another example, you see when you go to a temple or you go to meet someone and you know how much am I supposed to drop over there? 101 rupees maybe. No, that is too much. 51 rupees is sufficient. That fellow, no, he is okay. So you know how much you are going to put the money over there. Or if you are giving a gift to someone and then you say, oh, I think I should give him 1001 rupees. So you take an envelope, put that money in it, 1001. And so while giving also you remember it, afterwards also you remember it, and later on if you are asked how much did you give, I think it was 1001. It is not called a gift. If even a matter of dakshana, if you give to the Panditji who comes for doing your prayers, oh, that fellow was asking for 5001, he doesn't even deserve that much. I just gave him 501 and I shooed him off. So you know how much you are spending. It is like doing some great favor to those people. This is not correct. When you have to go to a restaurant, do you count? Oh, I have eaten 50 rupees. then I have eaten 75 rupees, then I have eaten 80 rupees, so total comes to so much. Is this how you go and eat food? Or when you go to the movies or you go to some other place, with your friends, your own birthday also, you will go and spend. Do you count how much you have spent? Never. Do you understand this state where you think you know the amount and you think you don't know the amount? So like you spend on yourself and you don't know the amount. I think I must have spent very little on myself. People have this habit of saying. But the amount of money that they spend on themselves can never be understood. If they tell you they have spent 100 rupees, please have, take a pinch, not a pinch, maybe a bottle of salt and say, 100 rupees? Out of question. This person values himself so much that they will spend thousands on themselves. But when they have to spend for God, or when they have to give a dakshana, then they will count 501, 51, 101, like that. One is supposed to be a very auspicious number. This state. Now this statement which I made, concentrating the mind, that means everything else has become zero. This is applicable for the next 3 verses also. So please remember what I am saying. It is not even here, not there. You don't remember on one side and you remember on the other side. What is in between? Like a state. So fix your mind on this and then you will meet this transcendent one. Transcendent. The word itself will tell you. Crossed over, gone to the other side, not understood, beyond, like that. Okay. So then you will get the power of self-control. So when you focus on this, the idea that you are in control is taken care by the natural methods. Coming back to meditation and how much money you are giving. You see, you are lost in the God over there. You're just pulling out some money and giving, and you have no idea what you have given. Got it? That is the transcendent state. No idea. When you do this, you will get self-control. Now, the self-control is also there, like I said, when I don't want to drink, when I don't want to watch a movie, when I don't want to eat the food. Mind is always going to latch on to things which you don't want to do. I don't want to do this. Mind is focused on that. Because your mind is attached to that object. Desire. But when my mind is attached to that Narayana form, what am I doing? I am going in between formation and non-formation. Did you get it? See, I am explaining it so that you understand. When you are in the diffused state, like I said, the fluid state, can your mind concentrate on what you are doing? No. So the self-control comes into the picture because your natural state persists. So this is the magic of concentrating on Narayana. Alright, now we'll move to the next one. Chapter 10, Uddhava Gita, the last message of Shri Krishna, verse 17. Concentrate the clean mind on me, the Brahma beyond attributes. One attains to supreme bliss, which is the consummation of all pleasures. Now we move to the next step. Remember, we were in this diffuse state. Now we move to completely gone state, which means the mind is decimated. Mind doesn't exist. So the mind is clean. There is no dirt anywhere. Alright? It's in a clean room. See, when you have to go for, say, the moon or some such place, they will take you to a clean room and all the germs, everything that is there on your body and all will be removed. You have seen it in some of the movies where they show, even when manufacturing of chips, computer chips is there, you have to go to a clean room. So now think like that. There is no contamination of the mind over there, because mind itself has got purified. When I went into the diffused state, now I have crossed beyond. From diffused state, I am into the world which is crossing that side. So concentrating this clean mind on me, the Brahma beyond attributes. That means there is no attribute, nothing to hold on to. So I have gone in a zombie land kind of, state where nothing to hold on to. No tangible stuff, no attributes, nothing. Now there is no in between also. It is pure Brahma. Transcendence means going towards. Now here it is transcended. DED. Transcended. Gone beyond. So when I have transcended beyond, one attains the supreme bliss, which is consummation of all pleasures. A pleasure. Remember, we were doing yesterday about what is called as to derive enjoyment from everything. There is a difference between enjoyment and pleasure. Enjoyment means I eat it, it is there for a moment, it goes away, finishes off. So I eat some good stuff, it is there rolling on my tongue, and then it goes inside, it is over. This is the next state where the consummation of the pleasure happens. The pleasure, there is a pleasure center in your brain, isn't it? Now this pleasure center feels it. Extended. You feel pleasure. Like that. Alright? Now this pleasurable thing is only in the suspended animation state, not a state which is accessible to you. So going beyond. When a poet or when an author, a writer, he dreams of the poetry or he dreams of what he has to write, he is sitting and thinking about it, and then the whole thing comes straight in front of him. Everything falls in place. Remember the previous one where I said when you have to see Padmanabha Swami, 1, 2, 3 doors. Now you are visualizing 1, 2, 3 together, piecing, joining the pieces together so that you make a panorama. Now imagine you are not even in the middle door, you are not even in the front door nor at the back door. None of these doors are there. You are outside the temple. And yet you are inside the temple. So you have finished everything and you have gone. The vision is still there in your eyes. Is it actually in your eyes? No way. You are just dwelling on it. When you dwell on it, It's not only that you are pinpointing it, there is nothing there, but it is still there. This state of being. See, I have to give you material worldly examples so that you can understand this in a systematic manner. So understand it first. So dwelling on that state. Like Buddha state, how do you dwell on that state? Nobody knows. But if I have to ask you, let us say you had gone to Kulu Manali, or you had gone to Switzerland, or you had gone for some skiing or something like that. And now it is summer. You can't go over there, or it might be very cold winter and you can't go over there. And you are in some other part of the world. But when you dream of it, do you go in that state where, like that? So you are having pleasure. And this pleasure is not motivated, sort of. It is just coming on. So beyond your happiness is the pleasure. So that's all. So when you go in the state of Brahma, completely diffused, beyond diffusion, beyond transcendence, this beyond transcendence state is this completely lost state. And at that time, when you identify with the Brahma, there is a Parabrahma over there which you identify with. You get lost in it. Before anything is there. Before even Brahma comes into the picture. Before the creation of all the aspects, then. So when you attain this supreme bliss, which is the consummation of all pleasures. Now we move to the next verse. All three verses are more or less the same, like I told you. Just have to go along with me. So chapter 10, the last message of Sri Krishna, Uddhava Gita, verse 18. Concentrating the mind on me, the pure embodiment of virtue and the Lord of Shaitadi, a man becomes pure and beyond the sixfold wave. Now, we are now transcended to Brahma. Now go beyond that also, which is, do you remember ocean of milk? They say ocean of milk. Narayana is floating on the ocean of milk. Now just think, if I go beyond that, beyond Narayana, beyond anything, what am I actually experiencing? Krishna's own domain, right? It is literally like I am floating towards the second divine unmanifest. It is full of love. It is full of liking. I like it. I love it. Like that kind of a feeling. He says, when you concentrate on mind on me, Krishna himself, the two-armed one, which is the pure embodiment of virtue and the Lord of Shaitadi. I am the Lord of the Shaitadi. There, I have gone beyond. A man becomes pure and beyond the sixfold way. So the purity, mind itself doesn't exist then. Mind has become zero. Bodies have become non-existent. When nothing remains, you are only the pure being. What is remaining of you is called only the Jivatma, only the being inside of you. The consciousness is all that remains. So when this consciousness and that consciousness has to merge inside and become one, that state. Now all these states, it is little difficult to achieve through the normal meditation. How many years of practice does a person require? Lots and lots and lots of lifetimes is required, not years. Lifetimes of practice a person requires to achieve that ultimate destination. And then when there is nothing to bother, even the worries that are there, which are sixfold, what are those worries? Hunger, thirst, grief, delusion, decay, and death. They all disappear. Because there is nothing like that, no? There is no death. Where is the question of death? You are immortal. Where is the question of hunger? If you are immortal, what are you supposed to eat? Think about it. Do you think you will get thirst and hunger if you have nothing to eat? What difference does it make? You are immortal. Immortal beings, do you really think that they need to eat? See, when Superman eats, no, he is immortal kind of fellow. When he eats his food and all, where does his food go? Nobody knows. But if he is immortal, why does he need to eat also? Why does he need to even breathe? Common sense will tell you, no? A person who is immortal, why would he have to even eat, drink, or do whatever bodily functions? None of those functions matter. Whether he does good or bad or evil or this or that, what does it matter? Nothing is anyway going to happen to him. Ever thought like this? You become immortal. What difference does it make if you do something good or bad? Eat or don't eat, drink or don't drink, nothing. So these 6 actions which are there, which we normal human beings have to go through, doesn't exist for him because there is no death, there is no decay, there is no hunger, there is no thirst, there is nothing. So this is what it means. I hope you understood. We have come from the manifest to the unmanifest to complete unmanifest and then to this next one. So it's like a complete transcendence from here to there. Alright, so now we have finished with the Ashta Siddhis, 8 Siddhis. Krishna has given an explanation to Uddhava how these 8 Siddhis can be achieved by anybody. Concentration, meditation, all the activities that are connected to it. So we are moving to the next verse. Now we are going to do all the remaining 10 other powers, which are called secondary powers. So we are doing chapter 10, Uddhava Gita, verse 19. Reflecting with the mind on the subtle sound in me, as possessing the supervening adjunct of ether and cosmic prana, the jiva hears from a distance the varied speeches of beings manifested in that ether. Now we are coming back into the manifest domain. We were just now in the unmanifest. Now we are going to come back into our regular state. So when I come to the regular state, do you know that there are the 5 elements that are there? Very good. So there is the 5th element, which is called ether, sometimes referred to as space also. Now if I have to focus on this ether, he says reflect with the mind. Earlier, remember, we had to decimate the mind and we have to make it pure. So Ashta Siddhis, purity. Go towards that. Now come back to these 10 other qualities. So when you come back to these qualities, they are physical in nature. So you have to have your mind in place. The mind has to play an important part. So reflecting, think with your mind on the subtle sound in me. Can you hear the sound of the sun's explosions? No. Can you hear the supernovas and all those black holes and all those things? You know, those who go and see these movies, Star Trek and Star Wars and all those kind of things, they hear boom, 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 some kind of a sound they hear. Actually, there is no sound there in outer space because there is no medium there. There is no medium there. Even the sound which they show in the movies is for our understanding. It is not because there is some sound there. What is the sound in outer space? No sound. It has got its own frequency, vibrations, which our ears cannot hear. So the sound has to be converted. This is one. The next verse which is there is still little bit more difficult, because just recently there was, the sun threw one spark in outer space. Spark means it has these explosions that happen, and they pictured it and they caught it on a camera. Now coming back to this verse. Now think about the ether and the subtle sound that is there in the ether. So when I hear those subtle sounds, I focus on it. My mind has to focus on the subtle sounds in outer space like the ether, and I understand what sounds are coming. Imagine I'm looking at the planet somewhere, or I'm looking at the sun in outer space through my telescope. Visualize this. I am watching it through the telescope. Okay, I have seen. So, what is it that is happening over there? What do? Normally, people associate colors with sounds. We do that, isn't it? If you don't understand, I will tell you what is happening nowadays in India and abroad also. You see that because of this coronavirus, they have cameras in the drones. And these are literally heat-seeking cameras. Heat-seeking means if you are suffering from high temperatures, if you are suffering from any problems which is raising your temperatures, these drone cameras which are deployed now, they can capture your image, which is a thermal image. You know thermal images? Those who understand little bit of science will know what a thermal image is. Now, if they capture the thermal image, you will immediately be caught by the health people. The health authorities will come and catch you and put you in one van, and they'll take you to the hospital straight away because you are having temperatures. So these cameras in drones are now heat-seeking cameras. They have been deployed already. In Mumbai, you are being told very clearly, don't even go outside. You are not supposed to roam in your compound also. People do something else. They go to the terrace and they roam around. They have cameras locating this kind of people. And they have been told that if you don't listen to us, and if you are caught roaming around in your terraces and talking and doing all kinds of nonsense up there on the terrace or on the ground or in the compound, in your own compound, in your society, if you are caught on camera, your society chairman and the secretary will be put in jail. Now tell me something, if your society chairman and secretary is put in jail, do you think the society will allow you to use the terrace or the grounds below? No. So this is a very simple trick which is being played by these people. But it is very effective. When you are told not to go out, don't go out. So coming back to these heat-seeking things. So now the heat-seeking drones with the cameras, they have the cameras which point out, oh, this person is having temperature. So these kind of cameras are deployed, so they understand. Now imagine this. This is the state. I have to give you examples. So this is like an example to tell you, when I see certain color, I know that that person has got temperature. Correct? You know your own gas stove, when it is yellow, it is not hot. When it is blue flame, it is very hot. This you should know. A Bunsen burner is there. If the yellow flame is there, it is not hot. It will give soot. There the burning of those, whatever the gas that is there, is leaving certain carbon and other elements outside. But if it is a blue flame, so did you understand yellow and blue flame? Like that, there are stars, galaxies, nebulas, this, that, so many things in outer space. Suppose if I have to look at their colors, will I understand how they are? Likewise, sounds are also identified. Imagine this. Though you know there is no sound coming, you know there is no sound in ether, but this is what he says, reflecting with the mind. Just reflect in your mind the sound in me, as if you are reflecting that sound in me. Possessing this supervening adjunct of ether and cosmic prana. Ether. How does that sound? So the jiva hears subtly from a distance. He is hearing literally as if the sound. Boom, boom. You know those who've seen this Star Wars and all, you see the ping and pung and all those sounds that come. Well, that kind of a pings and all those you can hear. These are very subtle sounds. Cannot be heard directly. They are appearing in your heart actually. They are not appearing in your ear. You are not going to hear ting, tung, tang and all those things. Nothing happens over there. It's inside you. The varied speeches of beings manifested in the ether. So now when you use this technique, you will be able to hear what people speak at a distance also. So if I am staying in India and somebody who is joining in from America, even if I am not connected to that person, I will be able to hear what they are speaking over there. I am the biggest CIA over here, see, without devices. So I don't have the bugs planted in your room or anything like that, but yet I can hear. Like that kind of thing. Do you? That is the power you get. So we go to the next one. Now all these are only lesser powers. Okay. So verse 20, chapter 10, Uddhava Gita. Concentrate, connecting the I with the sun and the sun with the I, the reflecting on me there with the mind, the man of sharpened vision sees everything from a distance. Normal human beings should not try this. Okay, that's a disclaimer. Please take it very seriously. Don't look at the sun. Directly looking at the sun can, destroy your retina. So don't look at that. The yogis, those who want these great powers of theirs, remember the powers, the 8 major and the 10 minor. So this the second minor one. If he concentrates his mind on the sun, right? So he says, connecting the I with the sun and the sun with the I. That means you are literally focusing and defocusing in the sun. And reflecting on me there as if I exist in that space with the mind. The man of sharpened vision sees everything from a distance. Earlier one was hearing what people are doing. This is as if I am playing a picture in front of me, so I am watching you. Understood? This is the words. I am watching you. Be careful how you react. So if you have some great Babaji who has all these powers, 18 powers, so he will be like, I am watching you. I am hearing you. You be careful what you do. Something like that. So did you get it? The sun, you have to focus eye on the sun and the sun in your eye in the mind. Not directly. Don't try it directly. It will damage your eyes. Okay? So imagine like that. When you are doing this concentration, when you are doing these yogasanas or these pranayamas and that meditation thing that you are doing, all these things you are doing, those who are doing that, when they are doing this concentration, when you do the eye concentration to the sun to your eye, dreaming of it, you will be able to achieve vision which is further up, beyond your horizon. See, you can see in the horizon. You can see the sunrise and the sunset also. But what happens beyond that is not visible to normal people. But for this yogi, he gains that power of reaching that beyond. So Krishna has explained over here how you can go to this supervening adjunct again of seeing the sun, alright, through the mind's eye. So we are doing verse 21 now, chapter 10. Effectively joining to me the mind and the body together with the nerve current that follows the mind. The yogi, through the influence of this concentration on me, can take the body swiftly wherever the mind goes. The next step. Joining to me. Who is the me? The God within you. Remember, there is a God within you. We call it what? Consciousness, God, that, whatever you want to call it. It is inside of you, the God within you. When you take this God within you and the mind together, means the God within you is using the mind now. What is he doing? The mind and the body together. This God within you is taking this body and the mind together. That means the whole bottle. The bottle and the liquid inside, all of them are now literally joining together. Everything, including your body. Remember, don't forget your body. So when you are taking your body into this picture with the mind, so you are taking the unmanifest one which is inside of you, the God is inside of you, and the body which is the outer covering, all these together with the nerve current that follows the mind. Which is the nerve current that follows the mind? The nerve current which follows the mind. Yesterday only I was discussing about it. The nadi, sushumna. It is, I told you, no, from the brain it is going downwards like that till the bottom. This is that long chain which is there inside of you. Right? So that you follow. This is the mind over here, connected to here, connected to here, connected to every part of the body. That is that nerve current which is going through up and down. Through the Ida and the Pingala when you do all your pranayama, meditation and all those kind of things. Right? So this, join this nerve current that follows the mind. How is it following the mind? You will ask. I am now in the heart. You know, in the heart, what do I control? This portion of the body, correct? If I go down little, I'm controlling the liver and the stomach and all those organs. If I go still further down, I'm controlling the gonads and all those things, ovaries and all those things. Right? Huh? If I go still further down, the last part, that is the evacuation problem that we have, evacuation issue, that is control. So, you see this nerve current is going up and down, right? If I come up over here, the throat portion and all that, connected to my mouth, right from here to here, this much portion, throat. It's controlling from here to here. Eye, this portion. You know, the phantom wears that mask, like that. Just think like that. something. Or if you're Ninja Turtle, the Ninja Turtle also wears those masks. You remember? Like that. So you just imagine this particular chakra is controlling that. And from here upwards is the Sahasrahara. So there's one canyon, not canyon, a big hole over there. You have to jump over there, like that. Maybe you have to use some technique for jumping on the other side. Maybe a catapult will do. Just joking, okay? Catapult you cannot do. It is a space between the Sahasrahara and the chakra over here, called the eyes chakra over here. There is a gap. Now to transcend that gap, imagine there is the channel moving from top to bottom. The nerve current goes up and down, carrying all the nervous impulses, that one. The nerve current that follows the mind, the yogi, through the influence of his concentration on me. When you concentrate this influence on me, as if I am the one who is sitting in one small buggy and going up and down. Just imagine one small, carriage. Think like that. When I am moving through this, then what happens? Concentrate on me can take the body swiftly wherever the mind goes. If you can imagine like this within you, then remember you are carrying the body also, because you are focusing with the body. You can take this mind wherever you wish to go. Suppose I am sitting over here and today the Disneyland and Disney World is closed, but I am just saying I want to go and ride in the Disneyland, some ride over there. And I will suddenly go over there. And I am sitting over there. And I am taking the ride. Think like that. Today all the theaters are closed, but just imagine I am going to the theater. And I am watching the latest of the movies over there. Though there is nothing happening over there, but yet I am just sitting over here. I am going over there. So I can go to another place with my body also. Mind following the body, body is also following the mind. So appearances. Now all these, did you notice all these characteristics that I said to you, all the powers that I said to you? Do you know all the great sages and saints, they have it like this? In how many scriptures, in how many stories of saints have you heard the saint is in one place? Maybe he is in Shri, but he appears in Chennai also. He appears in London also. How is it possible? This is the power. Got it? He is not physically using it at all. I am telling you, you are not supposed to use the powers, but appears. They are his servants. All this power are his servants, so he can do those things, magic. The great gurus, the great sages and the saints, sometimes they may appear right next to you. And you will wonder, oh, was he over here just now? You know that state? This is the power. This is the power with which they can travel with their body and their mind. They can be in this place, that. And by the way, they don't need to have one body to be in one place only. They can be in 100 places simultaneously. They can appear in 100 places simultaneously because it is called the magic. Remember Siddhi? These are lesser Siddhis. Oh my God, if you're thinking this is a lesser Siddhi, you must be thinking, it is a lesser Siddhi? I would love to have that. Well, it is a Siddhi. You can get it. Alright? Then we move to the next verse and then we will stop. Chapter 10, Uddhava Gita, verse 22. Using his mind as material, whatever form the yogi wishes to assume, he assumes those desired forms by resorting to the power of concentration on me. Now, if you were to concentrate on me, mind as material, I am using the mind for shaping some things. Who uses the mind as material? All the scientists of the world. By the way, there are lots of IT people over here. Okay. You know, they have something called a POC, proof of concept. When all the startups and all they come, no, they will have the proof of concept. Exactly. The mind created the proof of concept. Something came out. Okay, now we can do this. So you have a proof of concept somewhere, and that you have created a design for that state. Using the mind as material, whatever form the yogi wishes to assume, he assumes those desired forms by resorting to the power of concentration on me. So when you resort to the power of concentration on me, using this mind for creating the object, use the mind to create the object. So we do this. Many a times human beings resort to this technique. We visualize an object in our own mind. So when we visualize and create the object, this is a lesser power. So that object appears in our mind's eye. You have seen in some movies, you know, the person is doing imaginary calculations like this. He does that, isn't it? You have seen this? Imaginary calculations in the chidakash of his mind. And then he does like this, and then he writes over there, then he does like that. He is creating that object in front of him, and then the object gets converted into some kind of a physical object. You saw this in number of movies, you see. Ideas which are getting converted into objects. One of the simplest movies, one of the most beautiful movies was Home Alone. Home Alone, that small boy, he creates all those traps for those robbers who are coming in, isn't it? The thieves are coming in his mind's eye he creates, okay, these guys are going to come from here, so I'm going to create this object which is going to fly to them, and bang! See? That is the concept which I'm talking about. So in the mind's eye, you can see that concept happening. And that is the conversion in which objects can be made. So with the power of this concentration, the yogi can wish, whatever he does, he can assume to see that object and be that object also. So this is the verse 22. So we will stop over here, and next week we will continue from verse 23, where we are doing the minor powers. So you take care, you have a very good day, and be safe, and don't go out anywhere. Bye.